Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. I'm Rihanna Nikram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the highlights. 17 persons charged and remanded for causing public unrest. Georgetown returns to normalcy as businesses reopen. Guyana local content a model for Suriname. And Lindener Terry Hollingsworth in hospital after being shot in the eye. Normalcy returned to Georgetown today following unrest sparked by Monday's release of the post-mortem results of 11-year-old Adriana Young. As news spread that she died by drowning, protesters clashed with police, set fires, and disrupted public order. Reports of looting and robbery brought the capital to a standstill on Tuesday. Businesses and schools shut down, traffic was minimal, and many residents stayed indoors for safety. Today, however, Georgetown resumed normal activity. Shops reopened, traffic returned, and daily routines resumed. Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben said the situation is stabilizing and assured that the joint services will remain on high alert to maintain public safety. A national curfew remains in effect from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Police say over 100 people were arrested during countrywide operations, with 37 motorcycles seized and several wanted bulletins issued. Suspects accused of looting and destruction appeared in court today, including those charged with stealing millions in goods from a Chinese supermarket. Adriana Young was found dead last Thursday in a hotel pool in Tushin, a day after being reported missing. Her post-mortem confirmed she drowned, but the time and circumstances of her death remain unclear. Vice President Bar Jagdeo has rejected what he described as vile claims by the opposition that 11-year-old Adriana Young was sacrificed by the ruling PPP to win the upcoming elections. He condemned the accusation as politically motivated and deeply insulting to the Hindu faith, warning that such rhetoric is meant to stir division and unrest. At the same time, Jagdeo renewed his call for a thorough investigation into the child's death. While the autopsy confirmed that Adriana died by drowning, he said critical questions remained unanswered, particularly whether her death was accidental or involved foul play. He added that the Young family and the nation deserve the full truth. President Irfan Ali, he noted, has already pledged to uncover all the facts and ensure justice is served. Jagdeo confirmed that toxicology samples were taken and said there was no evidence of broken bones or sexual assault. He also stated that the police's handling of the case will come under review. The vice president accused some individuals of ignoring the medical findings and instead using the tragedy for political gain. The child's death triggered protests and public unrest, including looting and road blockages, acts condemned by civil society, the business sector, and all major political parties. Guyana is providing key insights to its Dutch neighbor as Suriname begins the process of developing its own local content structure for its oil and gas industry. Guyana's Joel Bagwandin, director of the Guyana Oil and Gas Energy Chamber and key figure in the private sector's local content subcommittee, was a special invitee of the Suriname Chamber of Commerce and Industry earlier this week. Bagwandin was asked to give insights into the implementation process of Guyana's local content legislation.
The Suriname private sector, through the Chamber of Commerce there, they've indicated to us that they're very eager to learn from Guyana's success story. They currently, nothing is happening there. Uh, they don't know how to go about it. And so they thought it best to reach out to Guyana since we've already been there, done that more or less, and we have the act. The act is in place, and our success story has been told, is well documented and told publicly, regionally, um, in terms of the value of local content spend, in terms of capacity building, in terms of the growing number of local service providers as well as employment opportunities for locals.
He noted that more than 20 entrepreneurs from diverse industries were warned of the intense work that would be required since a push for a successful local content structure has to be driven by the private sector.
Main point I said to them is this has to be driven by the private sector. The private sector has to uh, do a lot of work, not just lobby and advocate for it, but they have to do a lot of work. They got to roll up their sleeves and put in the work in terms of developing their position papers, their working papers. They got to actually be prepared to even go as far as to submit a draft piece of legislation to the government. And secondly, they have to have an accommodative government that is willing to support this.
Bagwan then added that having that supportive government is essential to the task ahead. He claimed that Guyana's private sector had to fight with the then government in 2015 and 2016 since that administration was not willing to move the local content structure toward legislation. He said it was the current government who committed to moving toward legislation, and this was eventually done. Bagwan then pointed to numerous stakeholder engagements and the consultative processes necessary to create the legislation. He also highlighted the review process which ensures the continued success once implemented. Hosea Fraser, the suspect wanted for the murder of Mark Benjamin in Bagotstang, has been arrested. Police say the incident happened around 6:40 Tuesday evening on Norton Street, Bagotstang. Fraser, also known as Hosea Selman, allegedly shot Benjamin in the head during a confrontation. The two men were known to each other. The suspect, who's a resident of Norton Street, was captured around 2:40 this morning during a police operation in Regional Division 6. He remains in custody as investigations continue. 17 men were remanded to prison today on charges of causing public unrest at Cemetery Road, Durban Backlands, West Rumveld, and Sussex Street, Georgetown, on Monday. The group appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court, where they were charged under the Terrorism Act. 9 men were all charged with committing the offense at Cemetery Road. They were also charged with breaking and entering and larceny. The charges stem from the alleged looting of a Chinese supermarket, where items worth an estimated $6 million were stolen. Those charged include 22-year-old Devon Lewis, 39-year-old vendor Corinne Baksh, 19-year-old Alex Atkinson, 26-year-old taxi driver Randy Benjamin, 21-year-old construction worker Aiden Coffey, 25-year-old Jason Hardy, 25-year-old engineer Jamal Singh, 23-year-old delivery driver Faisal Kennedy, and 21-year-old porter Tyrese Asana. Meanwhile, 20-year-old Sherwin Nelson, 53-year-old Eljim, and 20-year-old Osafo Harvey were charged in connection with causing public unrest at Sussex Street. 34-year-old Kevin James, 19-year-old Antonio Lawrence, and 27-year-old Vincent Trim were also charged in connection with the offense at Durban Backlands. Furthermore, 25-year-old Jamal Small and 18-year-old Emmanuel James were charged in connection with the offense at Hunter Street, West Rumveld. Police say over 100 people have been charged across the country in connection with the unrest that followed. Protests demanding justice for 11-year-old Adriana Young. The course has been adjourned until May 28. Lindener Terry Hollingsworth was hospitalized after he was reportedly shot to his right eye when police allegedly opened fire at his home during a chase on Tuesday night. He is now with the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. According to the victim's wife, Keisha Hollingsworth, the incident happened at approximately 22 hours on Tuesday. Speaking during a Facebook Live, she said her husband was about to secure a shop situated in their 1-mile yard when she heard a commotion in the yard. She looked outside to see police officers giving chase to 2 boys.
When I peep out, there's 2 boys in the yard. I pull back myself because certain things when you're doing law enforcement work and you get a little idea, you will know that certain things you got to pull away yourself. Me don't open my door. I don't open my door a while. So I pull back myself. The 2 boys that in the yard. Anyhow, I peep. Then I order it for Terry. Terry said, yeah, Keisha, they're right at the back of the shop. I open the door. I open my house door. And I said, come in quick, because apparently the police was after the boys them that went in the yard, because I heard the boys them left in front by me house there and I run to the back. And Terry tipping toe at the back of my shop to go inside.
She said her husband, rather than heading into their home as she suggested, went into a house in the same yard owned by his brother and locked the door.
Terry said now he peep. He opened the door for peep a little. There is the police from push the house door and watch it in the eye and shoot it to the eye.
Hollingsworth said that the incident has left her traumatized. She and her son were forced to take cover underneath a bed in their home during the ordeal. Terry Hollingsworth was rushed to receive medical attention. His wife explains that a promised surgery has now been pushed back.
So Terry is here with me. He's out of the surgery room. They could not have performed the surgery on him because whatever it is the police used was actually bigger than a pellet. The doctor said it's bigger than a pellet. I don't know what it is they use. And as such, whatever it is, it actually went deep and they cannot perform the surgery. So they want us to wait 2 weeks. 2 weeks before that is fixed. We can't wait 2 weeks.
The doctors that do a scan, and from the scan with the doctors they do, they say, hey, what? Yes, something there in the eye, but it's not a pellet, it's more bigger than a pellet.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they believe it's a bullet issue. They give me some painkillers. They give me some painkillers, clean up the eye and tell me this morning, 7 o'clock, they want to do some operation on the eyes. About 8:39, we left and go to the operation room, and the doctors they work on the eye, but for like 40 minutes. And they said whatever is in there, they can't get it out because they're in too far. In order to take it out, they gotta pull out the entire eye. In order to take out the pellet, or they said not pellet, it gotta be a bullet. In order to take out the bullet.
Meanwhile, Regional Divisional Commander Curly Simon, when contacted by Ignite News, confirmed that Hollingsworth was shot as police attempted to clear the roadway on Tuesday night, and the matter is currently under investigation. He said while the injured Hollingsworth did not report the incident to police, an investigation was launched on Tuesday. The divisional commander said police were engaged in clearing the main road at half-mile, 1-mile area, which persons were blocking and pelting at the police. He said if Hollingsworth is claiming that he was shot by the police, then he had to be in very close proximity to them. Residents in the half-mile and 1-mile areas reported hearing gunshots and experiencing tear gas being sprayed throughout the night on Tuesday. Earlier in the day, protesters blocked the main access road leading into the communities, disrupting the free flow of traffic and livelihood. Some protesters even demanded that a fee be paid before any blockades were removed to allow vehicles to pass. Some businesses and schools in Linden have since remained closed. Leaders of the Region 10 community, in a joint statement issued on Tuesday, urged those involved in unlawful acts to desist. President Irfan Ali met with the students and teachers of Chatu Margot Primary School who were injured in a chemical attack on Monday. The meeting yesterday followed national condemnation of the incident and growing calls for justice and protection. In a statement from the Office of the President, it was noted that a comprehensive framework of support has been implemented for the victims. This includes ongoing specialized medical care to support the physical recovery of the injured children. The attack occurred Monday outside the East Coast Demerara School, where 3 students and 2 teachers were doused with a corrosive substance reportedly thrown by 2 men on motorcycles. Education Minister Priyamanik Chan accompanied the victims to the hospital and condemned the attack as evil, calling for unity against violence. Let us stand against the evil of children and women being burnt by acid, she said in a statement. The Ministry of Education is working with the Guyana Police Force, which has launched a full investigation. No arrests have yet been made, and the public is being urged to come forward with any information. Internationally, following weeks of tough negotiations, the United States and Ukraine could sign a mineral deal within the next 24 hours. CNN reports that Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal announced that the economy minister is now in Washington finalizing the agreement. He told Ukrainian media, quote, "We are finalizing the last details with our American colleagues. I hope the agreement will be signed in the near future, within the next 24 hours, end quote. The deal will give the U.S. access to Ukraine's vast mineral resources in exchange for investment, an agreement that's been in the works since President Donald Trump returned to office in January. Talks stalled earlier this year when Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's visit to Washington was cut short after a tense Oval Office meeting. A major sticking point has been the issue of U.S. security guarantees. President Trump has insisted Ukraine sign the deal first, with any security commitments to be discussed afterward. U.S. President Donald Trump marked the 100th day of his second term with a campaign-style speech in Michigan, touting his achievements and targeting political opponents. Trump called his presidency a revolution of common sense and promised continued change. He mocked former President Joe Biden and criticized the Federal Reserve Chairman, while dismissing polls showing a dip in his popularity. The president highlighted the drop in illegal immigration, but acknowledged the economy could be a challenge, particularly as he continues his trade war. Trump also celebrated the growth of car manufacturing in Michigan, but softened his stance on tariffs after U.S. automakers raised concerns about price increases. Despite declining approval ratings, Trump insisted the polls were fake and declared, "You haven't seen anything yet." In sports, Bournemouth's Evan Nilsson has had his suspension lifted after successfully appealing his red card in Sunday's 1-1 Premier League draw against Manchester United. Initially shown a yellow card for a challenge on Nussair Mazraoui, the decision was upgraded to a red following a video assistant referee review. Evan Nilsson appeared to slip as he closed down the United defender. Had the red card stood, the Brazilian would have faced a 3-match ban, but the ban has now been rescinded, meaning he is available to play against Arsenal on Saturday. An independent commission ruled in Bournemouth's favor, lifting the suspension. With 4 games left, Bournemouth sits in 10th place, and an 8th place finish would earn them a Europa Conference League spot if Crystal Palace doesn't win the Football Association Challenge Cup. Jamal Murray scored 24 of his game-high 43 points in the second half as the Denver Nuggets pushed the Los Angeles Clippers to the brink of elimination with a 131-115 win in Game 5 of their Western Conference first-round series. Al Jazeera reports that Denver have won the past 2 games to take a 3-2 lead in the first-round matchup. Game 6 is on Thursday night in Los Angeles. Murray scored 11 points in a momentum-turning third quarter on Tuesday night and added 13 more in the fourth, the last on a 3-pointer with 2 minutes, 13 seconds left. During yesterday's game, Denver never trailed, led by as many as 22 in the fourth, and held off a late Clippers run. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you tomorrow for more Ignite News.